Mary Magdalene, she sees the risen Lord. Sees him
Yay.
with her own eyeballs.
Pretty cool, right? Thank you,
Very cool.
Jesus. And we are in the Gospel of John, chapter 20, and we're starting in verse 11. And the scene is set. She found,
Scene is that John crying in the corner.
yeah. So this,
Peter, brazen, lit with fire, invigorated, now searching for God and for Jesus.
right. Because the two of them had ran, because Mary had found the tomb. And they were,
Mary, awestruck,
yes.
in disbelief, she said, "What is going on here?" But Mary stood outside of the tomb, or by the tomb, weeping. And as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the tomb.
Mm.
And she saw two angels in white sitting, one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Jesus had lain. Then they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "Because they have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." Yeah, I'm looking for him. Now,
So,
when she had said this, she turned around and she saw Jesus standing there and did not know that it was Jesus. So it was a mystery
yeah.
guy. And then Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking?" She supposed him to be the gardener.
Because she didn't recognize it.
She probably didn't turn around because she didn't
That's
want to see anybody in
when
her
she was
presence.
crying. Hmm. Now it's because now we, in I didn't notice this when I read this other times, but we already know the two disciples were there and they looked in the tomb and they seen the clothes folded and everything. So obviously they
Maybe
didn't see
gone.
the
But
right.
yeah,
They didn't see the angel, so they would have said something, right?
right.
So
Yeah,
now
that's what you get for not sticking around, Peter.
you missed, and so we didn't see,
They literally went there, right? They went there, they got spooked, and then they just left.
and
And
they
Mary's just standing here by herself. So much for moral support, by the way. You know,
like like Mary,
this
she went
poor woman. She's
and
one
had
of the disciples.
breakfast, right?
Spend time with them. And be a little more supportive. My goodness. I mean, Peter, I understand you go internal, but my God, Uh, so she's here talking to these angels. She gets this opportunity, right?
I know.
And then she gets to talk to Jesus. And she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away."
Mhm.
She said, "Please."
I know.
Jesus said to her, "Mary, do you not realize that it is me?"
Mhm.
She turned and said to him, "Rabboni." Jesus said to her, "Do not cling to me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples that she had seen the Lord and that he had spoken these things to her. And if they'd only stuck around,
I know.
don't
And
be, yeah,
I've I've read this before and I thought that maybe Jesus looked different. But I think it's like you said, she just never turned around.
yeah, she never turned around to look at him.
And in verse 16, she turned
Right.
because he said Mary.
I know, but mother, step into the shoes of Peter for a second. I
Oh, what
mean,
he missed out on you.
no, 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 I know. But how would you feel if you were crying?
Yes,
Would you turn around and look at somebody?
probably not. You're right.
I probably wouldn't. If I was crying, at least, right? I probably wouldn't immediately. But then he yells that's why he did that, right? He yells at her.
Well, he didn't
He
say yes,
says,
but he said
"Oh,
Mary.
word, you spent years with me and you don't recognize my voice? That's crazy."
But he said her name and then it
Right.
Yeah. Oh.
Supposing her to be the gardener. That's what John said, right? This boy over's here with a crush for Jesus.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Jesus. Rabboni teacher. Did you and you read about 17, right? Jesus, do not cling to me, for I have not yet descended to my Father, but go. Did you read that part? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
you can
go,
read it.
go to my brethren and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God.
I'll let him know we're all going to be in the same place at the end, right? Said
I
the
know,
word.
so personal, right?
Should have been.
Yes. And for
Very nice,
my
man.
God, your God, and the listeners, he wants
All
to have a
God's children.
personal relationship, right?
Right. Is it personal?
Yes.
You should have a, well, like, you think your relationship with God, with other people, is different than your relationship with God individually?
Yes.
It is.
Oh,
I think so, yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I think God's relationship with us is individually, right? He knows how to talk to us that or show us things that we understand.
Right. Things that we understand, right? Because not everybody understands the same.
Right. And maybe that's what Mary needed to hear at this, she needed a different
Right.
and even John and Peter and John, they came to the tomb and one went outran the other, but then he didn't go in. The other one went
E-
in.
Each one of them has their strengths and weaknesses, right?
Yeah. And
John, super fast.
no.
Not fast to go into the tomb, though.
Right.
Peter,
He's
super
more
fast to
sensitive.
do things.
Right.
Super fast to speak up, though.
So
Super
there's
fast to go internal
yeah. So
and
that's
attack other people.
yeah.
Mary, patient, right? Stays
Yeah.
around,
Stayed
virtuous,
around.
able to see.
Yeah. And that's like us, right? He
But
sees us.
she's only able to see because of her patience.
Mm.
No,
And her diligent to get there early in the morning, right? To
right?
her.
To be less childish than Peter. And
Oh,
not tell anybody, by the way.
what happened?
Didn't tell a soul.
Oh,
These two children literally raced there. And it literally said in 2010, right? Then the disciples went away again to their own homes.
instead of go and tell the world.
This is in 2018. Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples.
Mm,
Wow. Do we see what the first thing that happened, right? Jesus or Peter and John, I don't know, probably went home and fell apart as individuals for like 20 minutes, probably.
maybe. Yeah, yeah.
Probably. And they had to put back the pieces of themselves together before they like saw anybody else, maybe. But I don't know. Mary told somebody after, which is probably the right thing to do.
Right. She told the disciples too, which makes sense, right?
Right. And not everybody as well.
All right.
Another smart decision.
And there is an S, so it's definitely more than one. We don't know if it's all the 12 disciples or is it the two disciples. But she told
Mhm.
him and how that he had spoken
I
detail.
don't know if John was there because it doesn't sound like he was there.
But he did write the story.
Because
So
Mary told him.
maybe.
She had to tell him this time.
Yeah.
He's still shattered. Ah,
No,
that poor boy.
no, right? Wow. It's quite a shock. Oh, you got to read the next verse, right? Did you read the next verse?
Which one? 19?
Yeah.
We're
Is
gonna
it
read it, but we'll get a little intro. Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood in the midst and said to them, Peace be with you.
Peace be with you. Peace be with you. That's mostly the part I was excited about. But the whole part is exciting.
He's just
That same
jump
evening.
scaring people.
Yeah. The doors were shut. Because they were probably afraid of their lives, because people were trying to quash the story,
Right.
for fear of the Jews, right?
Well, they were out and about like hungry little sharks.
Right. It's
You
just
know, it
him
was
and
not good waters to be in.
right. And maybe more likely that things would happen in the night.
Oh yeah, true.
So,
Yeah, some old city vigilante Passover justice.
mm,
Right, that's what they were expecting. But no,
he just
there
came
you.
and stood in the mist. He didn't even need the lock or
It
knock.
was never about you apostles. It was always about Jesus. Yeah. So find some peace in that, mother,
I know.
and have a good day.